And that's why the PGA had to change from a nonprofit to a for-profit so they could get investors, so they can get money going, so they can get these purses high enough so these pros won't up and leave because of the whole live situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think live is doing much better with this because they're only providing opportunities to the people again who can afford it. They're not giving out enough accessibility. So, and I'm speaking 10 years down the road when Tiger's too old to do anything and we are left with Scotty Scheffler, who a great player, but he grew up in a family, one of the richest neighborhoods in Dallas. He's not going to bring. It's all like I had a buddy of mine that caddied at the Madison Club, and he was in their group for 9 holes, and he told me he's one of the most boring people to be around. Couldn't let
Yeah.
his hair down, can't really be himself. He felt like he's this structured entity to where he has to play by the rules and do all this shit. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not his fault, but when you grow up in a social class that's this rich, high class, it takes away the relatability factor that most of us have to deal with coming from the trenches of life. And
And
that's why
that's
we
really opened the door for like tube golf and all these kind of
yes,
guys that
yes,
I mean, I feel like I'm the last of the old guard. I'm a
yeah,
Gen Xer. I'm in my mid 50s, and there's something about the Masters and the PGA Tour and the simplicity of it all. I know it's 72 holes. I know what to expect. I tried to watch live, and I'm the kind of guy who used to be loud music on the golf course. Now I prefer quiet music or no music at all.
yeah,
I'm a purist, but I do relate more to the YouTube golfers, the
yeah,
guys that fuck up and joke about it and
yeah,
make fun of themselves. And those are the guys that I want to play golf with more so than Rory and Scotty Scheffler and whatnot. If I'm being honest, just because I think it'll
yeah,
be more fun,
yeah,
you know. And we're dying. My breed is dying. The boomers are dying. There's all these golf courses, these private clubs are 5-year-old white men, and in the
mhm,
next 25 years, they're all going to be gone.
yeah,
And so, who's going to pay all those club dues? It's
right,
going to be the millennials and the Gen Zs, and they want to wear hoodies and they want to have fun.
mhm,
Golf is different for them, and that's something that I'm sure the PGA Tour, if they don't see it, they better see it
yes,
because it's coming. It's already here. It's not coming.
mhm, oh, yeah. No, it's very true. It's the culture's going to have to change, and that's why I think recreational golf will always be sustainable because that image can sustain, can adapt to what the Gen Z and the millennials want because the boomers and the Gen X parents will give their kids the money so they can still remain at the country clubs. And
Yeah.
yet these kids that are tied in with those families, they will have the different ideas with the hoodies, the flat bill hats, more sneakers, music on the golf course. So the recreational golf I think will be fine. No
So
way.
still so expensive, man. Like, there's
It
got to be
is.
a way to bring the cost down for everybody.
It is. And I think that's where we have to because if we want to inspire a younger generation to play good golf and to get motivated to be in golf, it starts with the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And that to me why is well, that's why John Daly is so appealing because you can just tell by his personality and how he goes about life. He didn't come from an upper class situation. He came from where the masses are coming from. And for us to have that relatability to him influences us to be a part of the game to begin with. And so what the PGA Tour is going to have to do, what the Corn Ferry Tour is going to have to do, live all these professional circuits, they're going to have to continually find a way to make it accessible for all social classes to be a part of. And if they don't do that and they continue to make it more expensive and they continue to make it more finite of who can be a part of it, then you're going to lose the masses at wanting to be appealed to it.
Yeah.
And that's where the motivation really stems from for these young kids is watching a guy who they can relate with.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we are having a hard even Cam Young, he came from a really wealthy family, same situation. And most of yeah, if I'm playing at Sea Island Golf and I'm with a bunch of lawyers and doctors and that's how I grew up, sure, I would be more than happy to relate to that dude.
Yeah.
But as you know, the middle class America is what makes up most of America.
Yeah.
And most of us are playing public golf, municipal golf. We are playing with clubs from Play It Against Sports. We're playing with clubs
Sure.
from eBay. It's a much different ball game for us. And in order for us to continue to think, oh, I can make something out of this or I have a chance, well, I need something to look at to provide me that motivation. This is
How did
why,
John Daly get his access? Was it just he qualified, he had that insane
yeah, he had
talent,
a,
or
so, well, he had, so he got really, so now back in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, college golf was much easier for Americans to be a part of. I think it was a cost thing, and college golf wasn't nearly as popular, so the demand from the international side was not nearly as high. So they were giving much more opportunities to Americans.
Mhm.
Nowadays, there's a big push of the international students because these international students can afford full tuition.
Sure.
So these coaches are really entitled to bring these kids from overseas because them paying full tuition helps them retain their job because that full tuition, part of it goes into the booster club. And that's
Mhm.
how a lot of these college coaches retain their jobs is
Yeah.
bringing money into the university.
Yeah.
So that's and back in the 80s, we didn't have that demand. And so it was much more get what you get sort of situation. And I guess the money wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So I think they would have more of a different mindset back then because it was more about the good golf than it was making money. Whereas I think now in today's world, and this is to me all Tiger Woods' fault. I
Yeah.
know he didn't mean it to this be this way, but when Tiger Woods got into the scene, he completely revamped golf, and he revamped it so much now to where now we are left with a product that is we have to have a Tiger Woods or it doesn't work anymore. Does that make sense?
It
If be
does.
because he has a cost, he upped the cost so much because the demand got so high because of all these other factors that he brought into the game, the business model adapted around him. And
Mhm.
because of that adaption, now that he's not in the middle of that business model, you're left with these players that are trying to fill in the shoes of Tiger Woods. And you talk about, and at least in my opinion, yeah, maybe Tiger Woods didn't have as much competition as Scotty Scheffler does now, but Scotty Scheffler's not gonna touch Tiger Woods' records. He's gonna get close, and he's gonna be one of the top 10 players to ever play the PGA Tour, but in terms of him being liked internationally and people recognizing him and thinking, "Hey, this is the next Tiger Woods," that's probably not gonna happen.
I agree.
And so that business model that the golf world has built now it can't survive unless there's a Tiger Woods, and so in order to have a Tiger Woods in today's era, you would need a guy that is finishing top 5 in every fucking event,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and I mean in
It
every event.
I thought the PGA Tour could go be more like the tennis, the ATP Tour, where you have 3 or 4 guys that are constantly battling at the top, like when they had,
Yes,
Djokovic and the
Federer,
Spanish guy, Federer and Nadal and
yep,
whatever, but Ricky Fowler never really materialized to be that
no,
guy, like, Jordan Spieth had a flash in the pan one year, JT had his it never really came about.
Yep.
And now there's so many young guys, and golf is really hard. It's really
Yep.
hard to keep it up there
It
for
is.
4 rounds in a week, let alone, 33 events in a season. It's
Yep.
hard.
100%. And the thing is, Tiger Woods provided so much motivation now that
Mm,
we have not just 3 or 4 players, we have 30, 40 players that are all acting like they're Tiger Woods. And so the level of competition is so stiff and it's so tight between 2 players now that it like you said, there we don't have the consistent 3 to 4 players like back in the Nicholas Palmer era,
yeah,
Tiger Woods era even. Now it's much more. I mean, 1 out of 60 guys could win now.
yeah.
You don't know. I mean, look at, when you had
I'm in a
Akshay Bhat.
pool, it's impossible.
It is. It
Yeah,
is. It's insane. And you had what, Akshay Bhatia, he just won,
yeah. Let me
and
ask you that, speaking of him, is he anchoring or is he not anchoring? And does it matter?
if anchoring was if anchoring was really cheating, then everyone would be freaking anchoring
Well, they're
at
not
this.
allowed to anchor.
Yeah, well, that's the
The
there's
calling him out, that, like, it sounds like
yeah,
they think
I
he's
think what
anchoring
they
even if
can do is allow people to anchor again. Let's just
yeah.
take away the rule in general, so that way we don't
Mhm.
have to argue it, because in my opinion, I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference.
Okay.
Sure, if people start anchoring and everyone that's anchoring a putter is winning, then start anchoring your damn putter, dude. I mean, what are we like, what are we trying to do? Are we
I
really
don't
gonna
know.
be that strict? I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with rules, but I think rules need to be productive. And sometimes we have to think logically about what the rules we're making. And if let's really think about this. If I'm anchoring a putter, am I guaranteed to make putts? Probably
no,
not. That to me, sure, maybe it'll help some people become better putters. But I just feel like if anchoring was that big of a deal before it became illegal, why didn't every single pro start anchoring their putter?
sure.
Right? So I just think that rule is interesting why they even made it. Now, to pivot off of this, I'm going to tell you some really controversial stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's super controversial, but I think this would help the game a ton. And now it does take away a little bit of the purest element of the game, but I think there's still the black and white element. Um, Golf to me is the only sport that penalizes a good shot.
Oh, don't even get me started.
And that to me, I still have the hardest time understanding that because it would be like me shooting a free throw, but because it hit the rim 3 times and then went in, it doesn't count.
It's
I've
happened to
never
me in the playoffs.
yeah, I've never understood that. So, to get rid of the divot rule in the fairway, let's just lift clean in place no matter what in the fairway.
I'm in.
Right. I don't want I've never understood that. Why if I hit the fairway and I don't like my lie, I get to get a new one. You know why? Because I did what the golf hole asked me to do. Now, if you're in a
Yes,
divot in the rough,
that's different.
tough shit.
Not
You hit in
supposed
the
to be
rough.
there.
Yeah,
Yep,
you're not supposed to be there, okay?
yeah,
SOL, dude. But you hit the fairway, okay? Let's get a good lie in the fairway for you. Perfect,
yep,
okay? Second rule, let's start taking gimmies from inside of 18 inches, please.
okay,
And how you do this is you paint the bottom of the flagstick 18 to 20 inches high. You paint the bottom of the flagstick black. You lay the flagstick down. If it's inside that 20-inch circle,
yep.
we're done
We're not
doing.
someone's
We're
picking it up.
done. This is
Yep,
not about talent anymore. This is about pure luck. It could hit something, who cares? Now, if you're 3.5 feet away, you're gonna have to make that putt.
sure.
Sorry, because that
Yep,
that requires some skill, a little bit of touch. But if I have a tap in that's this long, okay, let's go. We need to go. We need to move on. This is ridiculous. This is not showcasing anything about the game at all. All this is doing is wasting everybody's time.
fair.
The last thing, there needs to be a shot clock. I don't know how we can enforce that, but we need to start enforcing it soon. and I mean real soon, because at the Players, they have Scotty Scheffler on a camera, and he's behind a tree, and my buddies and I are sitting in the shack eating right before a loop, and right when he gets to his ball, my buddy puts on a timer. It took him 5.5 minutes to hit the shot.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, and that he tried to find a hole. It was obvious he couldn't find a hole.
Yep.
He's doing everything he can. He wants to slice it off into the hit a slice 6 iron. That's not gonna happen, and we're all laughing. "Hey, dude, grab your pitching wedge, 8 iron, just hit it in the damn fairway. Let's
Yep.
go.
Mhm.
You don't have a shot here. You're 180 yards out, and you have to hit a 90-yard slice. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, even Tiger Woods can't perform this shot, so let's figure it out."
Yep.
And he keeps working all these angles, and he can't drop it in a better place. And then eventually he gets out his damn pitching wedge and hits it in the middle of the fairway. And I'm thinking, man, we wasted
5.5
four and a
minutes.
half minutes for
They put
nothing.
pitching clocks in baseball. I never thought that would happen. So
I
putting
know.
these guys on a time clock. There was also that situation with Matt Fitzpatrick a couple of weeks ago where he
Yep.
was playing with a European guy that I'd never heard of before, and he was just ridiculously slow, and
Yep.
definitely helped. It affected Fitzpatrick coming down the stretch for
Oh
sure.
yeah. 100%. And that needs, I don't know how they're going to enforce that. I always thought if
It's my biggest pet peeve on a golf course. Like I'm my best when we're the first group out because golf as a foursome should be played in 3.5 hours or less. And if it's a little slow or a couple of guys are playing for money, we stretch it to 4 hours. But at 4:10, I'm getting fucking pissed.
yeah,
Like
100%.
it's over, man. Like we should be
Yeah.
out of here by now.
I,
It's
I agreed.
ridiculous.
I agree. And I think those 3 rules need to be in place at
I'm
some
with
point.
you. I was
Um,
playing at my home course with a guy. He was about a 15 or 20 handicap, I don't remember, and he wanted to play for money, and he wanted me to give him strokes, and, like, I gave him my whole spiel, I don't really like playing for money. First hole's a par 5, dogleg left, 560 yards. It's driver for sure. I pulled out a driver, I hit a perfect draw to the back of the fairway, and then we walked up to my ball, and my ball's in a nasty divot, right in the
oh,
middle of the fairway. It's in
there
a
you go.
nasty divot, and I asked the guy, I said, if I'm playing you for money, am I moving that or am I not moving that? He says, there's no way you're moving that. And I said, well, then there's no way I'm playing you for money because that's just
Yeah,
fucking stupid.
that's unreal. I can't, that's so annoying.
And then in the playoffs this past year, in the final round, there's one of those 300-yard par fours because we were playing for the whites. Like all the flights play together. I'm in the champ flight and A, B, C, D, E flights. We're all playing the same tees, so it's a short course than what I would normally play. And I'm like, you know what, Jared? Don't be an idiot. This is a 5 iron. This is not a 3 wood. It's not a driver. It's a 5 iron. Hit your 5 iron. Hit my 5 iron. Same thing. Baby draw, middle of the fairway. I'm so proud of myself. Going to the cart. Look at you. You're all grown up. You hit a proper shot. You laid up properly. You still got 100 yards in. Look at you. I get up there. It's in this fucking divot again. And I'm like, and I'm playing with guys that I'm competing against. There's no way I'd move it. I wouldn't in that situation. In the other situation, 100% I'm moving it with a
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.
But there's no way I'm moving it in competition. I'm just like, it derailed my whole round, Tim.
Yep,
Like,
yep,
this is stupid. This is why do they do this? This is a fucking injustice. Like, and always when I power down and I make the right shot, and again, it's to your point, what you said, this is what I love about golf and life because you can sometimes do all the right things and still get fucked.
yep,
And sometimes you can blade a 6 iron and it'll land 3 inches from the cup and you make a birdie. And
yep.
that's what I like about life. It's you
Yeah.
never know what you're gonna get. You gotta be in the moment, as you said.
I had I had a podcast with my buddy Panther. He works with me at Bandon. It was my first show I ever did
Yeah.
where I was speaking with someone face to face, and it was amazing because he told me, "Well, Tim, that's what makes golf golf. There's no gray areas in the game. It's a black and white situation." And still to this day, I'm thinking he's got a point. It's a pretty valid point too, because that is why we love golf. in a way, it does force people to have to deal with what they got. Even if they
Yeah.
do what's right or wrong, who knows? But at the end of the day, it's not gonna necessarily reward you when you feel like you need to be rewarded. It's gonna reward you when the time is necessary and when it is. And so
I want to give you one more story because I totally agree. And like when I didn't take golf seriously, and I think that golf should be fun. I would tell any 20, 25 handicapper, don't play golf the way the pros play golf or the scratches play golf. Like have
right.
fun. If you're underneath a tree or up against a root, don't hit that shot. Don't break your club or your arm. There's just
Mhm.
no reason to do that. Then I started getting more into golf and understanding why the rules are the way they are. And
Yep.
I go to Mexico every Christmas with my family and I meet people from all over the world because I show up as a single to play golf and I play with this guy and we're on a par three, and I missed the green, and I went to chip, and I flubbed my chip, and nobody saw it, and then I chipped again, and I two putted for a double bogey, and I remember the guy asking me, he goes, "What did you get on that shot?" And I told him the truth, and I could have lied because I knew he didn't see that flub. So I told him I made the double bogey. He goes, "That's good. I'm glad you. I know you're an honest guy. I was testing you. I saw you flub that chip." And I was like, "Wow." Just even when you think people aren't watching you,
Yes.
people are watching you.
And
And how
that's
you do something is how you do everything.
oh,
And I
yeah.
really firmly believe that.
And
That
I
was
was
a big
talking
lesson for me.
oh, yeah. And that's I was talking to Angel about that. It you can really learn, in terms of a business mindset, when you golf with somebody, you can really learn about them and what they would if you would do business with them or
1,000%.
not.
Yeah,
And that's why I think golf is so interesting in that perspective because you could be out there not even worrying about the golf in terms of score or playing well. You're just trying to learn the individual and what their motives are, what kind of person they are, how they handle pressure. Are they truthful? Do they have integrity? Do they have character? Those sort of traits come to the forefront when you play golf with somebody.
absolutely.
And you do business with somebody, sometimes it's you don't know who they are. You just have to sort of guess and hopefully they will do what you're expecting them to do. But when you play golf with them, you don't have to guess as much anymore because, like you said, if you would have told him a four, he would have thought of you now as okay, this dude lies. He will
For
cheat,
sure.
no
He'll cheat.
problem. He doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself, whatever,
Yep.
yada yada.
Yep.
And that's just from a basic simple decision of what you did on a par three. And if you think about it, it has no significance in the long run. But what you did by telling him the truth, that has three times more significance than the
Absolutely.
score you made on that hole.
I don't even
Um,
remember my score on that round or anything, but I will
right.
always remember that situation.
Yeah,
Always.
exact 100%. So
Yeah.
that's something as a caddy. It's so funny when I will deal with some people, and I mean some people that make a fuckload of money,
Yeah.
and they will cheat their ass off.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, dude, how many people have you fucked over to make your money?
Yep.
It just that's the first thing I think about because
It's the rules that don't apply to them, right?
I don't want to say his name, but
Don't say his name. I don't want to get you in trouble.
he's a big CEO of a big sporting company, and he
Okay.
tees it up in the bunker.
He tees it up in the bunker?
Oh yeah, every
Like,
time.
and everybody knows that he does it, or he
Nope,
tries to hide it?
nope. Tries to hide it.
Shit.
And if I said this dude's name out loud, you would be like, "There's no way."
That's crazy.
100%. I'm talking one of the major sport apparels, major, and
Okay.
he tees it up in the bunker. Maybe his friends know and they just don't care, but he continually does that, and it's, okay, this is just who I am, and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
"Man, I don't know."
Do they play for money?
Yeah,
And he's like, "Tim, don't tell
I
anybody?"
wouldn't say that. He just I saw him do it one time because he would get us one of these small tees out, and he'd pick it up, throw it in the bunker, hit it, and then I would look, and I didn't say anything, and then like, the second to last time he did it, He goes, "Yeah, everyone knows I do it. It's not that big of a deal." And I'm thinking, "Man, we're playing a couple $100 here, man. They just let you tee it up out of a bunker?" And then part of me thinking, "Well, okay, same sort of situation what you just said. So the rules obviously don't apply to him. He feels like basically you can't tell him what to do.
Mhm.
Even if the world tells him what he needs to do or how he needs to act, he's still going to do things his way no matter what."
So
And
if
that,
he is he the host of the group and he's paying for everything, so he feels empowered to do something like that or
um,
not?
I've only been with him once, and that group,
Okay.
no, there was a commissioner and then him and then somebody else. But no,
I think
that
I know who
was,
you're talking about.
yep. And they flew on a jet, came in for a couple days and left.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and it didn't sit well with me
sure.
because I'm thinking, okay, if this dude operates like this, what exactly are we going? How did he really make his money? Did he do it honestly, or did he manipulate the rules in a certain fashion? I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. I don't have to live with that guilt, whatever it is, but I
Right,
didn't get a good feeling from that, and like you said, I don't know the guy. I don't know what he shot. I don't really remember his swing, but I'll never forget him teeing it up out of a bunker.
right.
I'll never forget that, and it's pretty wild how that works. Yeah, and it's amazing to me because all my buddies that I play with, if they make an 8, they will tell you they made an 8, and you'll think, "Wow, how'd you make an 8? I thought you were here in 4."
Mhm.
"Oh, no, dude, I it ended up being out of bounds. I had to take a draw, blah, 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 whatever." And and that's why I like those guys. I don't like them because, oh, they're great golfers and they shoot 66 everywhere they go. I like them because they'll just flat out tell you the truth. Yep,
It's a
and
high
those
bar for you, and it's a high bar for me too. Integrity is I've spent most of my career trying to figure out the dictionary definition of integrity. And I ask everybody, "What does integrity mean to you?" And I get a lot of different answers, and a lot of people don't even know what it means. And there's things that you do that you don't even know you're doing that other people would question,
right.
bring your integrity into question. And it's a hard one. Golf definitely reveals character and who you are. And, I'm guilty too. Like I could fake it in a boardroom for 30 minutes, but there's no way I could fake it on a golf course for 4.5 hours. It's
No.
impossible.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Would highly recommend people if you're in a business setting or you don't know somebody, even if you've never played golf before, you should learn golf, take
Yep.
people out to the golf course
Great life
because
skill.
it's a very good life skill
Yep.
and you will learn a lot about somebody based upon how they play golf. And that is why I think that's been a business practice for a lot of really successful people for a long time because they've used golf as a tool to really help them reveal personalities, character traits about the individual, and they do it through the medium of golf.
I can tell
And
you that for me, that is exactly what happened.
mm,
It was a trigger for like the second half of my life.
yeah,
And growing up, I played every sport except golf. Competitive hockey, competitive baseball, competitive tennis, everything except I thought golf was for old people and losers. But it becomes this sport that you can master later in life.
hmm,
And I think it was you who said it on your podcast. You can be an 80-pound weakling or a 290-pound fat pig,
hmm,
and everybody can play golf, and I do like that about it too, but it became something that I can measure myself as the person that I'm becoming. I don't think I'm ever gonna get there. I don't think anybody ever gets there. Nobody masters life. Nobody masters golf. Nobody shot 54 to my knowledge. It's very hard to do.
oh yeah,
But you're constantly striving for a better version
mm,
of yourself, a better tomorrow, a better whatever. And I think I said this to you. My life is this big. I want to leave a good feeling, a lasting impression on people. I want them to walk away going, that was a really good experience. And that's my subconscious fear of rejection. Yours is a little bit more in your face, that fear of being taken advantage of,
yes,
right?
yes,
So the injustice thing is something for you that we got to work on, and the rejection is something that I got to work on, and
Right?
that's what I like about it. It's just like golf. You're constantly working on something. If your driver's working, maybe your putting's not working. If your putting's working, maybe your short game's not working. It's a constant work in progress.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I love it because it is a game you can never master. And so that keeps me intrigued to continue on this path because I am anticipating learning something. And I think the more I learn, the closer I do get to perfection. But at the same time, I understand that's never attainable. So therefore, it always keeps me going.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate the most over the years is that golf has allowed me to have a pursuit that is endless, but at the same time, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm very grateful for because I think that keeps us fresh mentally and that keeps people in a way motivated, right? And I
What's
think
next for you? Like, what do you, I mean,
for
what
me,
is it? 200 a strap, 2 bags at a time for 36 a day? Is that your
no,
regular?
no, it's caddying is something I have used to maintain my Class A accreditation through the PGA. It
Okay.
is something that has helped me personally with my goals in golf in terms of playing and teaching.
Yeah.
My goal for me now is to still pursue playing on the PGA Tour.
No way. For
I've
real.
always thought in my brain I could left field it and go through a Thursday qualifier and find and get hot and play in at least one event. Now,
Wow.
the older I get, the further that goal gets for me because the modern golfers now and how far they hit it, and to me, having kids and not being able to practice nearly as much as I want to, that becomes a struggle. But that's something I will never let down. Even when I'm older, I will still want to play on the Champions Tour.
That's what
Try
I was
to.
gonna say. Yeah, like that could be a secondary goal. Your kids will be grown up by then.
Yeah, right. So I never don't want to pursue that. But to me, going beyond that, I want to give back as much as I can in this game. That's something very important to me. And I want to provide opportunities for people that need it. And so that's something I've learned that is just as important. And to do that through teaching, through my platform, whatever it is that I can do, I don't want to grow the game of golf because it will grow on its own.
Oh, yeah.
It's too addicting not to grow.
Golf doesn't need your help to grow the game of
Yes.
golf. That's
Yes.
for sure. But
Right.
lots of people need your help to grow their game of
Yes.
golf. That's another thing, right? When I know we talked about this, and that's one of the Infinite Game is one of the books that unlocked my mind because life is infinite, but my life is finite. I'm going to
Yes.
die, you're going to die, but life is going to go on through our children and our grandchildren and
Hmm.
the next generation, and
Hmm.
that provides a lot of light. It makes me think that things are not all for nothing, that it
Yes.
doesn't just disappear when I leave. And that's
That's right.
probably something that I've learned over the last 15 years since I had kids. It's a
Hmm.
big thing. Don't tell me having kids hasn't changed you. It totally changes you.
I
Changes your
don't get as mad
perspective.
as much anymore on the golf course since I've had kids.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
maturity and growth.
yeah. Kids have put a much more real perspective on what the truth is in the world,
Yeah.
and it's helped me focus better on things that are necessary
Yeah.
and not to take myself so seriously.
I've never thrown a club. I don't know if that shocks you or not, but I've never thrown a
Oh
club.
no, I admire that because I am the opposite. I haven't done it in a while. I just had one of the worst rounds I've had in probably a good 6, 7 months, and even then, I didn't throw one club, didn't even slam a club. My goal that day was to make sure my clubs were clean.
Mhm.
That's what I even told my buddy on the first hole, and I've always had an inside takeaway,
Yeah,
and that to me creates some issues.
sure.
So, I've always worked on trying to keep the club in front of me more, and my swing lately hasn't felt the best.
Yeah.
And I knew going into that round that there was gonna be some errant shots, or there was going to be some moments where I was fighting my subconscious, and that's okay. But to be able to accept that and to understand that that is just what it is,
Yeah.
and embrace that, that was something new for me, because I would still have these expectations of playing a certain game or shooting a certain score when I was younger.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm much more calm and accepting of what the reality of the situation is. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of that comes from having kids, because when you
Yeah.
do have kids, you have to understand that you're setting a example for someone beyond yourself. And I don't want my kids to be angry, thinking it's okay to, again, lack of maturity. Really,
Sure.
I want to be as mature as I can, and be as real as I can, because then the longevity of my kids will be hopefully based around those sort of ideas and that those perceptions, instead of it being much more reactionary and seeing their dad get pissed off over a game.
Sure.
I would hope they would think I'm mentally more tough than that. So,
What you don't fix in yourself, you pass along to your children. That's
yes,
absolutely for sure.
yes, that's a much better way of saying it. So, to me, besides pursuing playing at the highest level possible, that would probably be a better way of saying it. I think the second thing I'm really focused on is making a difference in this game through accessibility. And I want people to tell me their stories. I want golf to be back to the way it was when it was created, made for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to embrace the Muni style of golf, where it encourages all social classes to be a part of it, because I think not only will it help mental health from exercise and being outside, it will help your mental state, and it will help your psychology, because it will teach people how to navigate in life with traits like character and integrity. And I think that is very important in our society if we want to grow and develop young generations that are beneficial beyond golf.
Well
And I
said.
and so I think that to me is important. And so I'm hoping that whether or not I do that, fine, but I hope to at least create that perception on people so that other people can start down that same path, and maybe they'll do it better than me. I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be better. It's in addition to you, right?
yes.
To just
Yeah.
help further the conversation. Well, I just wanted to say that I admire you. You
Oh, I
are a
appreciate it.
very, very impressive young man. You've got a lot to offer the game of golf and the people that play it. I was super excited to chat with you on your show because of what I saw and the conversations that we've had within the country club. I'm getting absolutely everything I wanted out of the country club doing this, meeting people like you.
Yes.
I decided when I sold my company 12 and a half years ago, or sorry, when I got fired 10 years ago, is golf was going to be more of a focus for me. And what would that look like? And golf is a pretty much a non-negotiable in my life now.
Okay.
And I learn a lot about people and I learn a lot about myself. And everything that I do is to help me play more golf, to try and get more
You're
golf.
right.
I'll help anybody, especially if they want to do it playing golf,
Oh,
whether
that's
it's
amazing.
business or networking or learning about golf. I find it just addictive as hell, and
Yeah.
I've met more really good people playing golf than I have in any other endeavor of my life ever.
That's amazing, man. That's what golf's about right there. I think
Yeah,
that's what it is, and you can't say it any better than that. That's the mindset I believe most people should have, and that to me will, yes, grow the game. I don't like saying that, but I think in terms, if we focus more on the true qualities of golf and what it brings to the table, then that will allow people to see it for what it is, and it's not this. I again, to embody everything I'm saying now, it allows the human element to be present, and it allows people to understand that it's okay to not be perfect.
Yep.
As golf is not about perfection, it's about finding your way to attain sustainability within what you believe is right or wrong. And
You're
that,
right.
yep. And
When I
that,
shot my round of my life, my lowest score, I won under par 69 once
oh,
it happened.
that's
I woke up
amazing.
the next morning, nothing changed.
Yep.
I didn't get a check. You
Yep.
know, nobody paid me for that. It was we went back to the pool, and my best friend said, "You'll never guess what Jared did." And my wife said, "What did he do?" He goes, "He shot 69." She goes, "What does that even mean?" Like, nobody cared, my kids didn't care, and I played the next day, and, it's just it's the drug that I'm chasing. I want
Yeah,
that again, I want that again, I wanna get
that's
68
awesome.
now. It's just really super cool, and I've just seen some really cool stuff. I've did you have any hole do you have a hole in one?
I don't.
Me neither. Not
Yep.
only do I not have one, I've never even been in a group that's had one.
No shit.
Never
Oh,
even seen
it's
one live.
fascinating when someone makes one, man. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
I think caddying I've seen about 10 or 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been playing for 28 years. I've never had one. I do have an albatross,
Okay.
but
I have
I
one of
don't.
those.
Yeah, see there I think
Yep.
that's more important. Albatrosses
Yeah?
are more rare. They're a little more rare than a hole in one. So when you see an albatross, I think those tend to be, at least for me, a
One.
little bit. I would rather have an albatross than a hole in one.
Okay.
We'll just
Well,
say
mine
that.
wasn't impressive. It was a worm burner fluke that just kept going, and
Money.
it was
Oh,
just
that's
one of those
fine.
days.
That's
Yeah.
alright. That's fine. You got it. Yeah, that's another thing about golf. It's not about what it looks like. It's whatever you write down at the end of the hole. And in life, we deal with that all the time. You see people that shouldn't be where they are, but somehow they are, and
Oh, yeah.
they continue to do what they're doing, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, "Man, there's no way this dude is capable of doing this," or girls, whatever, and there you
Right.
go. Or
I knew you were going there. How'd
there
that
they
fat bald guy get that smoking hot chick, right?
That's it, dude. You gotta think, well, there it is. That's just whatever. I'm not gonna argue it. If
Nope.
they're happy, what do you want me to do? Tell them that he doesn't deserve her? No, that's not gonna work
Nope.
because
Not
obviously if
gonna
they're
work.
both happy with
Says
each
more
other.
about you than it does about them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh. And then when you get done telling them that, you're gonna walk away thinking, wow, why did I even say anything to
Yeah.
begin with?
What was
Obviously,
the
now
point of
this has
that?
become, yeah, now it's more of a personal issue than it is their
Yeah.
issue. It has nothing to do with them. It's all about me because I think the world has to be a certain way. I don't think fat bald guys should be with hot chicks. And what's that saying about me?
It's again, it's something that I go over with clients, especially the ones that are wired like you, the dewired personality. It's like they think life is like playing blackjack. You know, when I play blackjack, there's no thinking involved. It's when this happens, you do this. When this
Yeah, right?
happens, you do that, right? And it's just not the way life works. There's
No,
you're the first one who would tell me there's a lot of ways to get a par on a 400-yard par four.
dude,
There's hundreds of
infinite.
ways to do that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, think
Not
about
all of them are good.
well, to finish off, I'll tell you a story about Mo Norman.
Yeah,
You ever heard of
love it.
him?
Of
Yeah,
course,
he's
he's
Canadian,
Canadian.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a story about him that is still to this day is so fascinating. I don't know if it was on the 18th hole, I believe it was. He was playing a golf tournament and a spectator said, "Hey Mo, it's just a driver pitching wedge, buddy, and you won the tournament." So he hits a pitching wedge off the tee,
Mhm.
hits a driver off the deck, hits it on the green in two putts, and he goes up to that spectator and he says, "You never tell me how to fucking play a golf hole again." Is that not I it's the most that is
That's
the
pretty
most
awesome.
is that I love that because here you go, "Oh, it's just a driver pitching wedge," and
Mhm.
obviously he has his ego thing or whatever, but he went the complete opposite
Yep,
of what that guy told him to do,
yep.
and he still made par. And
So
that's
what's the lesson there?
the lesson there for me would say, stop trying to find the perfect way, try to find your way.
I like that.
That would
I
be
like
my
that.
that would be and that's the beauty of it is if we stop putting ourselves in a picture frame thinking it has to be a certain way and start putting ourselves in a frame of mind of what feels good for me and what feels right for me at this moment,
Yeah.
That's what I mean by staying in the moment, because you have to really listen to yourself. And when you're over that ball and you're thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this, maybe it's not the right shot to hit.
Ah,
A- And
yes.
that's one of the hardest things to do for me, because I have pulled off some insanely good shots in my life. But if I'm not practicing a lot, and then I expect to continue to play like I am practicing a lot, then I'm not being real with myself,
Right.
right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and there's a
Yeah.
difference between being nervous and being scared,
Yes.
right? If you're nervous, but you know you can pull the shot off, you'll have that feeling of, okay, I can still do this, and you're not going to fight that. But if
Mhm.
you're legit scared because you haven't done it in a while, and that's a different feeling. Then it becomes, okay, what do I feel actually better with right now? I am terrified to even hit this shot. Okay, well, we need to figure out how to create some sort of confidence there. Now, if you're
Mhm.
nervous, that's just more or less you are trying to amp up and get ready for the moment because you know you can pull it off. And I know
Have
you
you
know.
have you ever been terrified to hit a shot? Like, I've been nervous, but I can't think of a place where I've ever been terrified.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
If I have to from, 240 away, I'm in a sandy lie on a par 5, and I have to carry 230 in the air into the wind with a 5 wood on a really tight lie, that to me, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm a little bit scared to do this because I don't think this is gonna work out very well.
Okay.
I don't
I wouldn't even attempt that shot, but I
it's
hear you.
right now, if I'm over a pitching wedge from 125 and there's a little right to left breeze and I know I can hit it close,
Mhm.
then yeah, I get a little nervous because I
Mhm.
want it so bad. But in terms of being legit scared, that's something I've had to learn to differentiate between the 2.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to differentiate because
Sure.
those feelings are very similar. I think they come from a very similar part of your brain, because when you're scared, you have to prepare yourself to defend. And then when you're nervous, you're preparing yourself to also prevail in that moment. So I think
Yeah.
those feelings are very similar. But I think if you start to think, and this is again comes from experience, if you really start to sit down and really engulf in what your feelings are, I think you'll learn. You can tell the difference. And again, that comes from being in those moments constantly day in and day out
Sure.
where you can learn about yourself.
Yep.
And the thing that I'm trying to do this year is I'm trying to be my own best friend.
Mhm.
That's something I'm working on. I've always been hard on myself. I just had a video
Yep.
where I hit a shot and I hit it in the middle of the green and I called myself a faggot.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do that to anybody, but to me, I didn't even hit that bad of a shot. Yeah, it was kind of a chicken shit shot, but why would I be so hard on myself? Just it is what it is. You hit the middle of the green, you're 30 feet, you're fine, dude. What do you expect it to hit it to 10 feet every time? If I hit it to 10 feet every single time I played golf, I don't think I would be playing golf for very long. It'd be so boring. I couldn't do it.
I don't know, you make a lot of money if you were doing
Uh,
that.
Maybe that's true too. Maybe I will. Yeah,
But it's
okay.
true, nobody has called me a fucking loser more than
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Nobody.
that I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah.
I still think that if if that might be one of the harder things to do in golf is to be your own best friend
Yep.
during these moments,
I would
which
agree.
which caddying has helped me with, because when I'm caddying for somebody, I'm not gonna when you miss hit a shot or you do something stupid, "Oh, dude, you're a fucking faggot."
No, you're gonna
Alright,
be, "No, it's okay, it's not gonna kill you. You
yeah,
know,
oh,
you live to play another shot. We
we're
got this, we
okay.
got that." Yeah,
Or I tell people, "Hey,
100%.
I'm gonna dig you out of this darkness whether you like it or not."
Ooh, I like that.
Right? We will
Yeah,
find a way out of this darkness. I don't know
yeah,
what it's gonna take, but we will find a way. Just embrace what it is, we'll be fine. Even if you hit a couple good putts on the way in, that's more than enough to celebrate, man.
yeah, yeah.
But obviously for me,
No, you hold yourself to a higher standard and
yeah,
you're harder on yourself, and,
yep,
it's the same with my son when he gets mad at me for being harder on him than I am on his friends, and I'm like, "You know what? Your friends can do whatever they want. I expect more out of you."
yep,
And that's it's never gonna change. I'm always gonna expect more out of you,
yep,
and so you better get used to it.
yep,
And when you're my age, you're gonna expect more out of your kids.
Yeah.
because we want the best for you. I think you can handle it. I would never do anything to you that I don't think you can handle.
Yeah, right? Oh, that's
But
so true.
that's not everybody.
No.
But all this does is get me all jacked up and want to go play golf and play golf with you and have you read a couple of putts for me and I'll read a couple of putts for you and we'll just keep learning from each other and having
Yeah,
fun
dude.
and
Oh, yeah.
furthering the game of golf, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and to end this, what I wanna do is I wanna do a session with you. I wanna do a big session. I haven't told Cam yet, but I think it would be cool either a month from now, a couple months from now, where I do a show with 6 of us,
Okay.
and we just bounce ideas back and forth, talk about golf and just golf in general. I think if we got too broad with 6 people, it would get weird. If we
Sure.
stick to strictly golf,
Yep.
I think that would be really cool for the country club to see all these personalities intermingling with each other, talking about golf, what
Love
people
it.
think about certain situations, and everything would be pivoted around me and what I'm asking, and I let people just talk and figure things out. But I think it would be really cool to see what people would gain from that in terms of they have a certain idea.
I think it's
Um,
a great
I
idea.
I'm thinking about throwing this in there with that idea, and then you have some other dude in the background writing it down. I didn't even know this existed. Holy shit. I'm gonna write right? And so then it creates this environment of potential for growth. But I think it would be really cool to showcase that for the country club because then we could show the world what the country club really is about. And it's about these multiple people in different walks of life with different ideas and personalities that all come together around golf and have a friendly conversation about just that. And I think that would really embody what I believe Cameron wants.
Yep.
And I think it would be cool for you and people like me and whatever just to be able to sit around. Like I want to get Matt Saporin on it
Yep. Yep.
and have him talk about some stuff, and
Hmm.
then can you imagine, like, having him and then Angel? And Angel's never
Yes.
broken 80 before, right? And
Yep.
then having Matt Sapor in there talking about the stuff he goes through as a professional golfer. Even the
Absolutely.
Philip guy would love to do
Yep.
that one day with it, throw him in there with it too. So I just think it would be very and then we could get that Bill guy. He wanted to be a part of it. He just
Yes.
started golf, for
Correct.
fuck's sakes, right? And
Yeah.
so
At 70 something years old, I believe
yeah,
he's an
right?
older guy. Yeah.
So I would think that would be something I'm gonna do in the future. So yeah,
That's
stay
great.
tuned. I'm
All
gonna talk
right.
to Cam about it, and I wanna see what
Beauty.
he thinks. Um, yeah, it would be if at worst case, it would be a good showcase for the country club. Get people to meet and sort of, again, present what we're about.
Yep.
Hopefully, that'll get him to get more members in. I have a feeling it's gonna tip over any moment, and
Me too.
he's gonna start getting a bunch of people in,
Yep.
and then it's
Like
just
any
gonna be
country club, right? Like it takes
yeah,
some time and
yeah,
you get some people in there and then it's going to be up to the members to
yeah,
network and play golf and showcase opportunities and shine a light.
yeah,
He's building something really cool.
yeah,
We've got a structure of a handful of really interesting members now.
yeah,
And I agree. Like there's new members coming in every day, and I'm trying to help him be part of the intake committee and the onboarding committee.
yeah,
And he needs a couple of more big pieces in place, and then we're
yeah.
going to really have a lot of fun.
I agree. I agree. Well, do you have any final words for the old podcast or
Yeah, yeah, I do. Play lots of golf, and I absolutely look forward to seeing you in real life on a golf course somewhere
right
soon.
on? Oh yeah,
And if there's anything I can do for you or your viewers, or I'm like you. I'm a coach. I'm a teacher. I'm here to help. I'm here to shine a light. And really, my whole practice, my whole consulting company is about holding up a mirror. Um, People that are searching for things that are external, you are fully resourced inside of you. The answer is inside of you, and a good guide and a good coach and a good caddy is just somebody that's going to be there as a guide that will help you and draw that out of you. But
absolutely.
stop looking for external things. It all comes from the inside, and that's going to help us all play better golf.
That's couldn't have said it better myself. And so what I'll do, I'll have Jared send me his link if you wanna do the assessment. I will
For
also
sure.
tag his Instagram, and please follow him on his Instagram. I'm sure if you sent him a DM through the Instagram his channel there, he would be more than happy to get to you. I will also have his email with the link of the disc assessment. That way, if you're interested in doing this, you will
That was
have
good, wasn't it? You
direct
like
access.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me, it was really revealing, and I think people could benefit from that. Not only that, it'd be interesting to see down the road if we have people that from all again business, personal, whatever it is, that want to see what kind of person they are, what they don't like, or what triggers they have, or like you said, for me, I have a
Absolutely.
fear of people screwing me over.
Yeah.
And when you said that, it pissed me off really bad because I'm thinking, yeah, you're fucking right. That's the one thing I cannot stand. And then I'm thinking, see, I didn't even know that. I had no idea about that. And now that I do know that, I can sort of understand my motives even around my wife. I get it. I get real paranoid really fast, and I think that everyone's out to get me. And I've thought that way forever. And it's not that it's this terrible thing. It's just the way I'm wired. And now that I understand the way I'm wired, I can then assess situations better. And this is time. I'm not saying I'm great at it now. I'm
Nope.
still working at it. But the
Yep.
fact that I'm aware of this
Yep.
gives me the opportunity now to then prevail better when push comes to shove. And I would have never been able to know all this without that disc assessment. So, this is why it's going to benefit you. This is why we have people like Jared in the world who are successful because they understand this information and they understand the quality of this information. And so, we are not, at least for me, I think he would agree. We're not trying to keep this away from people. We want people to be engulfed in this
Lean
so
in.
that you can be a better version of yourself because now your community will thrive and then all of us will thrive. And then that just creates better future generations down the road, regardless of the profession you're in.
So
So,
there's an awareness thing here, Tim, and I'm just going to give you that. There's a famous Carl Jung quote,
yeah.
and it says that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So
Oh,
you don't know what you don't know,
isn't that amazing?
isn't it?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna write that down. The
I'll send it to you.
yes,
I'll
please
send it
do.
to you.
That
Until you
is
make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's the first thing I wanted to leave you with. And the final thing I want to leave you with is because you are wired very similarly to my wife. And I tell her the same thing I'm going to tell you. Nobody's out to get you. They're just for themselves.
yeah. That's yep.
It's that simple.
That it. I'm starting to realize that it's no one care. It's not that they don't care about you. They care more about themselves at the end of the
Right.
day than you. And so,
Yeah.
with that being said, they're doing things out of the motivation of self righteousness or self benefiting themselves over them being satisfied of screwing you over.
Listen, it's a gray
Yeah.
area, even though I know everything's black and white, but
Yep.
like there's going to be a situation that if you are faced with the decision and you have to choose between me or your children,
Oh well.
I already know the decision you're going to make.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right? So there's
Very
just
true.
certain situations where
Yep.
there's it's a non-starter. And
Yeah.
it's not because I don't like you. It's, maybe you booked me on your podcast and you had significant financial whatever, but my son got sick and I'm sorry, man, there's no way I'm doing this. I've got to be over here.
Yeah. Right.
And, that's all I mean. People are out for themselves first. And
Yep.
and I've learned that. I've learned not to take offense and not to be offended and not to feel rejected when things don't go my way, when the universe doesn't behave the way I expect it to.
Right.
And the more you can be comfortable with being that type of uncomfortable, the more you learn. And then you
Yes.
learn that in times of difficulty, not when you're shooting par. You learn
No.
that when you're going through adversity.
100%.
This was a lot of fun. I really
Yeah,
appreciate the
I
time that you
appreciate
made
it
for
too,
me.
man. That was one of my more in-depth conversations to me that felt very much psychological than it was on the surface.
Yes.
That was one of my more deeper podcasts I think I've had. Not literal, okay, fuckers, just psychologically there. Yeah, boys.
Right,
So
man.
thanks again for listening. Again, Jared Saltzman. We're both members at the country club. I will leave everything in the description regarding info. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in the disc assessment. Again, look it up online. It's DISC. Just type in disc assessment, and it even a simple Google link will give you a background of what it is. But if you want the real
Absolutely. That's another thing. There are a lot of
yeah,
free disc assessments out there that people can use. The one that we use with Maxwell Leadership is a little bit more in depth that,
yeah,
you and I have gone through the report. But there are a lot of free resources or out there. You just, like you said, just disc personality assessments and
yeah.
tons of information, tons of free
Mhm.
assessments will show up
I would
and then you'll
I
learn a
would
lot.
highly suggest going through his though, because it's at least you're gonna get what you're paid for. You're not going to just go through some spam website. His is very legit. So it's you get again, you know how life is. You get what you pay for. You're better off going through Jared. I promise you.
This one's a roadmap. You get a 31-page report,
Yeah.
everything you always knew about yourself but couldn't put it into words.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
Coach Notes way
100%.
of how I
Yeah.
would say it.
Exactly. But yeah,
Excellent.
that's it for me. Thank you, Jared, again for joining. And again, boys, don't forget, lighten your bags. 200 a strap. Y'all have a good night.